So if your Z is like mine and it's got some age to it and a good bit of miles on it, then you probably have the same problem. But yeah, basically with the trunk, when you pop the trunk open, your gas shocks, they're working pretty well right now, but they won't want to hold the trunk lid open. And I noticed it was a lot worse when the weather was colder. And I was actually about to buy some new ones to replace them, so this would hold up a lot easier. But then I found out that this piece right here, when I was actually gutting my car and I had all this trim out, I didn't actually know what this was. I thought it was like a module at first, but this is actually just a weight that's put in the trunk to help it close, like when you're closing it. And also it prevents it from like flinging up as fast apparently. So it looks like it's just a bunch of 10 mils. So you can just take this off. I'm not exactly how much it weighs, but I was gonna take it off and go weigh it and see how much it actually is. So yeah, that's the way. If we take this off, it'll actually probably allow your trunk to open a lot easier without actually having to replace the shocks. The only thing is you might have to close it with a little bit more force because you don't have that extra weight right here to make it shut down as easily. So I'm gonna just zip that off real fast and we'll check how much it weighs. So yeah, it looks like those are just 10 millimeters. So I'll just take the 4 of these off real quick. So yeah, this definitely has some weight to it. So I'm gonna go weigh it and see how much it actually is. So I just went and tried to weigh this thing, but the scale for weighing humans, it was too light to pull up a number on that. And then I had a smaller kitchen scale and it like maxed that one out. So it feels like it's about 5 pounds or so though. So it's kind of heavy. And then as far as like the trunk, I mean, 5 pounds is a decent amount, so it feels a little different. But yeah, as far as like pushing the button, I don't know. A lot of Z owners probably deal with the fact you gotta like pull up on it while you push the button at the same time. And it's been, it kind of just pops open itself now, so that's pretty nice. I just want to insert a video here and say, like, if you keep watching the video, you'll see me take off the wiper and the wiper motor itself. And it's been like 10 months since I took that weight off and did all the other stuff you'll see in this video, and I still haven't replaced the gas shocks. I mean, it did fix it for me. Depending on how bad they are, you might still need shocks, but removing that stuff, the trunk works perfectly now, like through the winter, and now it's getting warm again, so it works out well. Even if you have a stock looking Z, you can just like pull down those plastic pieces, remove the weight, and put that stuff back on if you want to keep the clean look. And it'll at least buy you some time with the gas shocks you have. If your car is a project car like mine, then yeah, just rip all that stuff out and you'll never have to worry about replacing the gas shocks. Since I removed most of the speakers, I was gonna get rid of the antenna here. And then I've never actually used the rear wiper. When I do, I mean, it doesn't really clear the windshield, so I was gonna get rid of that. So yeah, the other day I showed you guys how to remove this, the weight for the trunk lid. And now I'm just gonna remove all this stuff for the rear wiper. Yeah, it looks like all this wiring goes to that, and then some of it goes to the heated grid for your rear defroster. So I'll see how much of that I can remove. And then I was also gonna remove this module. I tried looking up what it was online. In my video when I was gutting the Z, I left it just because I wasn't exactly sure what it was. I mean, it says Bose on it, so I think it just has to do with the sound system. So I still have the 2 speakers in the front and the doors. So when I remove this, I'll see what happens if I put the radio on, and if it doesn't work, then I'll know that's probably what it was related to. And then under here, there's just more stuff related to the antenna. So I'm just gonna take a lot of that stuff out today. And then the only other thing I was gonna look into is maybe just getting rid of a lot of the trim in here. And also like the cowl panels, because they're, like I said before, I think I could fix this, but I kind of just want to take it out as well. So yeah, I'm just gonna get started on that and show you guys how to do all that stuff. Yeah, I guess this just screws out, which it was pretty loose already. Yeah, it looks like you just loosen up that. Looks like this is actually screwing off. And then you just got a tab there. Push this through. That's how that comes out. So when I was gutting the Z, when I had the seats out and all the carpet out up front, I actually remember seeing a wire like this run on the driver's side, and I guess it goes to the back of the radio head unit thing. But looks like there's actually like a connector right here, so it's in two pieces. But I guess from here forward, that's where it is. So if I ever have all that apart up front, I guess I could take the rest of that wire out. But yeah, that was pretty simple, just to get the antenna out. Now I'll just have to figure out how to plug the hole right here. I think it's just gonna be a 12. Yeah. And these are just some more 10 millimeters. Yeah, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do with the wiring. I guess it'd still be nice to have the heated grid, so I'm gonna just leave the wiring in here for now instead of cutting anything. I'm just zip tying this connector through one of the holes that the wiper motor was held in through. One of the screws goes there, just so it doesn't rattle around and it's kind of out of the way for the time being. Well, that was all pretty easy. The only thing now is just kind of just figuring out. Yeah, for the two holes back here where my the rear badge was, I just used painter's tape, and we've had so much rain and it's still on there, and I've had no water get in the car, so that actually works a lot better than I thought it would, considering it's just painter's tape. So I guess I could do the same thing for this stuff. These are some weird freaking connectors. And the last thing I was going to do is just take some of these trim things off, because a lot of them aren't really held on that well anyways. Drop the cap to the washer, the wiper I mean. Only real problem with having the taking the cowl off is that the blower motor's right down there. I did look in there with my flashlight and I could already see there's a ton of leaves in there, even with this thing on there. So I'm thinking I could just maybe put a screen over this so I don't really have to keep the cowl on there. So I'd rather have it off, so I'm gonna try to do it that way. So anytime you're taking the windshield wipers off, it's a good idea to just kind of like make a mental note of where they are, because a lot of them don't, they have like splines on it, so you actually have to position it yourself. So it's always good to just make a mental note of where they were. So the right side of the cowl actually had two 10mm screws. I don't know if this side ever did or not. Doesn't look like it. And then you have this line here that's for your washer fluid. And it's just a little tricky because these are attached to the cowl panel itself, so I just pulled them off right here and right here if you want to reuse them and not break them. Yeah, so I just used some like bug and tar remover, cleaned up around here and around this one as well, just to clean the car. I also got the crud from the wiper off here. And there was just a bunch of crud on the front of the windshield there where the cowl attached to it, so I just wiped all that down really well before going back on with my wipers. So like I said before, just kind of just where you left your mental note of where the wipers went on, just put them the same way. And when you're tightening these down, you can just hold on to the opposite side of the wiper, just as leverage, so you can snug them down good. And then lastly, you can attach these back on. Oh. I remember when I was doing my spark plugs, I remember noticing that this bolt was missing on the right side, but I can see why now, because it's covered by the strut brace. So I guess that's annoying for techs, having to loosen this to get that nut every time. So I guess they just leave it off. So I know I was saying earlier about how it'd be nice to have a screen that went over this. So basically on the cowl panels where these vents are on the back side, you have these little screen things stuck on there. And then on the one on the driver's side, it's actually a pretty big piece. So it looks like I could use this to cover up this where the this goes for the AC here, the blower motor I mean. So the only tape I really have is electrical tape and like blue painter's tape, which I know might not really do a good job of holding this on, but I'm just gonna try my best with it and see what I can do. So I'm actually really happy with the way this thing turned out. I just used the electrical tape around the whole thing. I mean, y'all saw how I did it, but it's holding really well and came out way better than I thought it would. The only thing that I wish I had done before I did that was vacuum out the leaves in the blower motor, but it's not a big deal. I can eventually remove the blower motor from inside and just clean the leaves out that way. But yeah, that worked out pretty well. So, and I didn't have to go buy anything in the store, so that's pretty cool. And then the last thing is just to clip this wiring harness back down. So the two last things I noticed is there's these little like rubber pieces right here, which I guess they kind of went with the protective pieces that go over the battery and the brake fluid. So I'm just taking them off. So they kind of look out of place now, just being there. So I know all the stuff I did in this video for like weight reduction was pretty minor, but I'll put a link in this description down below of another video I posted where I got a lot of the interior. With everything I've gutted, I mean, the car does feel different. It feels more nimble. I kind of wish I could weigh everything I took out of the car to just know how much weight I've actually taken out of it. There's still a few more things I plan to take out, so after I've done everything I want to, I might actually go get myself weighed with the car to see how much I actually did lose with everything I've done so far. Thanks for watching. I hope this was helpful for anybody, and please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to see what's to come. So thank you and peace.